not flirting, it's just inertia.
Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
It's another edition of KFC Radio, sort of, on the Barstool Sports Network. This is our vacation week, but we did an awesome interview with Scott Eastwood, and his movie is out on Friday, so we wanted to do right by him and make sure that we get the promo up in time. So even though it's our vacation week and we took care of all of our ad reads and whatnot last week, we're going to put that out for you today, sort of like an old school KFC Radio quickie. When we had first mentioned that there was no episode, people thought I saw some people saying you're self-canceling, and I'm sure some people expected to hear an episode talking about all of the latest drama with the rundown and Colin Kaepernick and my blog and all that. So no, the reason that there's no episode is not because of that. It's just bad timing with the vacation week. But once we learned Scott needed that episode out to promote the movie, we decided to put together the interview. And what we're also going to do is release last week's intro segment, which if you listen to the podcast, you know that we stopped and redid our entire beginning of the podcast because it was so bad. We were just rambling about baseball, and usually we keep it pretty tight. We have a lot of topics and we keep it moving. And this was like, leading into a vacation week. We didn't know what to talk about. We kind of just rambled and stumbled our way through it. And so this is like releasing the Snyder Cut. This is like the reverse Snyder Cut. It's like we released the good cut version, and now we're releasing the shitty version, which I actually think as I think we're our own worst critics, and we have a very high bar. And when you listen back to it, I think there was some funny stuff and some valid points about whatever nonsense we were yapping about. So you're gonna get this is like the DVD extras, the deleted scenes, the cutting room floor, again, a look behind the curtain, how the sausage is made, whatever, any of those euphemisms and descriptions. That's what you're getting today. I do have to do mail time this week. That was not baked into our vacation. And it makes more sense for me to address all the latest on that podcast because this is not a John issue, and I don't want to have to drag him into it and get him involved in Kaepernick and racial insensitivity and all that stuff. But I wrote my blog, but I have to do some more explaining from the podcast side of things. I want you guys to hear it all in my voice as well. So that'll all be taken care of on mail time. But for now, we'll get into the Snyder Cut of last week's KFC Radio, as well as Scott Eastwood, who is promoting his new movie, The Outpost, which is out on Friday. It's a awesome movie of him in the armed forces in Afghanistan and fighting the Taliban. So great movie, good interview, bad podcast segment that I think is actually going to be pretty entertaining. So we got you covered for like an old school KFC Radio quickie type of thing here on vacation week. And like I said, check out Mail Time for a full breakdown of the rundown, the Kaepernick situation, trying to cancel us, and the whole nine. So let's get into last week's cutting room floor segment and then talk to Scott Eastwood.
It's another edition of KFC Radio on the Barstool Sports Network, back live in studio. We're almost back here. I feel like the world is restarting and baseball is leading the charge now. Baseball's back.
I hate being me. Like,
just
I
that could go so many directions right now.
Just like I want to be excited, the baseball is back.
Yeah.
No one's fucking not.
You don't think it's gonna happen?
They're not playing.
I agree.
They are absolutely.
I've said it. I keep retweeting the same tweet. I said baseball's not happening, and then when there's every time there's a tweet, they're like, "Oh, old takes exposed," and now there's like an agreement. Everyone's old takes exposing me, and it's like if you have not looked around at every other sporting event, everybody's getting coronavirus.
Right.
Brooks Koepka's caddy, Novak's Djokovic, all that shit. I mean, everybody's getting it. Now, whether that means, I don't know the rules, because I do feel like there's a way to continue. I don't think it's a strict no tolerance policy.
I think it is. I think
Is
it's.
it?
Nick, can you look this up?
I mean, if that's the case, then it's a fucking.
I
then it's
believe it
on rack.
was. This is what I heard. This is what Casey told me yesterday when we were grabbing drinks last night. By the way, it's hilarious getting drinks in New York City now. Drug dealers just run rampant.
Really?
They just walk the streets because everyone's just kind of outside.
Yeah, it's like
sitting
open container
People
type shit.
Just walk by like, I got Coke. Who's got wants Coke?
Really?
Yeah, but don't buy Coke off guys in the street.
No, that's not a good idea. But that's an interesting. Like, why? What's changed? Like, why weren't they doing this pre-pandemic?
I guess because everyone's in the street, so you can't get trapped. Like if you walked into a bar, maybe like someone was like, "Hey, that did sell Coke." But if you just walk by fast, and if you were interested, you just go run up behind and be like, "Yo, dude, what you got?" But like, I mean, I want to be stressed.
Buying Coke on the street.
Don't buy Coke off random dudes in the street.
I mean, that's you're just asking for a bunch of fentanyl.
Yeah, right.
You know?
You're gonna die.
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure. But it's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
You know, it's still pretty.
Don't get me wrong. I've done it before. You shouldn't do it.
Do as I say, not as I do. All right.
I didn't do it last night. I've done it years ago though.
2 nights ago. Yeah, last week for sure, but not last night.
There was a time I did. I've only done it once. And
That's an interesting dynamic.
It was
though.
definitely I just did meth.
It's interesting to like the unintended consequences of pandemics and shit like that, the good and the bad, and it's like and then drug dealers just started like hollering at you like you're on the corner.
Dude,
like,
this guy was like this guy wasn't last night. This guy was a different time I was out, but he's just in sweatpants and a white t-shirt, and don't like it happens in New York a lot. I remember there used to be guys outside our old office. If you take a right and go across Broadway, there would be dudes who just sat there. I was like, "Who wants to go?"
next to like the wholesale guys. Right? Yeah.
But it's not smart.
You know what? You know what's funny about that? Those guys tried to sell me sneakers once, fake bootleg sneakers, which I think is kind of like, they looked at John and they're like, yeah, this guy parties. And they looked at me and they were like, yeah, he'll buy some fake Jordans. Damn it! Why don't you try to sell me Coke? What? I'm not cool enough for you? Fuck. Anyway, I think I know where you're going here with, you want to be able to be excited and you want to be like not pessimistic.
Oh, wait, no. Here's where I was going with Casey when we were out getting drinks.
Oh, right.
She told me that she saw somewhere that if a team tests positive with 10 players, it's like off.
The whole thing or like that? I mean, it can't just be that team because that would fuck up
but
like the whole league and everything.
Every team is going to have 10 players test positive.
Definitely.
Everyone?
Definitely. Honestly, I was thinking about we were talking yesterday on the rundown, I think it was. We were saying like athletes should have just been getting it the past few months.
Yeah, like Tommy John stuff.
Yeah,
right. Just knock this out.
And I think Rowan said he thinks that's what Dabo's doing. Like everybody, Clemson, go get it now.
Yeah.
It's like when you have 2 kids and one gets chicken pox, you're like, yeah, let's get this over with.
Chicken pox party.
I mean, God forbid if you were ever the coach that was like, all right, listen, we're all gonna get it. God forbid there was something like you had the one 19-year-old like healthy kid who fucking dies or something. Yeah. But that's what they probably should have been doing this whole time. They should have gotten in the bubble not to play, get in the bubble to get it. And then everybody's good.
That makes sense. I can't believe I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, you should have absolutely all done that.
The preemptive
it's not
coronavirus.
I want to be so clear. It's not happening.
Yeah.
And hopefully I get old takes exposed because I'd love for baseball to be back. It's not coming back. I don't think sports. Yeah. I mean, I love being in a bar like watching baseball.
Yeah, so do I. But
because it's just something to have.
I mean, we talked about this 2 episodes ago. Like, do we even like sports anymore? And I'm like,
we've all learned that we can survive without sports.
Yeah.
Even Hank, who's PMT, big sports show. Hank was like, I'm good.
Yeah. I think there's the vast extremes of like, I think like Marty Mush. I think like Brandon Walker. Brandon Walker like lives sports, and I feel like without it, he like a piece of him is dying. Marty, I think, needs to gamble. I don't know if it's like sports.
He even said he's kind of like come off it.
Yeah,
where it's like you went cold turkey. And
it's funny. Yeah, it's like you guys are like hardcore gamblers, and then you're not, and you're just like, okay, I'm all right.
I was asking. I was like, have you been like gambling on random things? He's like, nah. Like
again,
like
proof positive that it's not about like the competition or the betting. It's about like betting on what you want to bet on and what you want to watch.
Which is fair.
Yeah,
I understand that. I'm not like, you're fake because you only like gambling on things you like gambling on. No, that's perfectly acceptable.
100%.
But I just don't think it's gonna come back. I just don't. I want to be excited. I want to be happy. I've had a rough few weeks. I would love to have some reason to be excited. And this isn't it.
No, this is not the one.
Dude, I was with like my uncle last night or a couple nights ago, and he was just like, he's like, dude, like, I know I have my kids until January. Like, school's not starting. Schools aren't starting. I don't think sports are going to happen. And everyone got mad at me last night because they're like, well, look at the Premier League. Look at Europe. They're in a completely different place than America is. America is it's getting worse almost everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like
It's to me, it's going to be a fascinating whenever this ends, because I feel like people thought it was ending, and I feel like we're like in the middle of it basically, which is dangerous because I feel like people I'll be honest, people at least in New York, I can only speak for our region, like they followed the rules. Like humanity, I think, kind of stepped up on this one. There was a lot of people who complained about it, but at the end of the day, everything stayed closed and nobody really violated the rules like on like a wholesale level, you know? But that was when I feel like they thought, you know, when you give someone like a relative timeline and then they agree to that, and then you're like, no, never mind. It's actually twice as long. You know, it's like what Dave was saying about like you're going on a cross country flight. It's going to take 6 hours. Oh, actually, it's going to 6 hours in. It's going to take 12. People start bugging out.
Yeah.
And so I think we might see like the bug out happen now. But
I mean, that's definitely the way I did it. I was 100% bought in. I was like, fuck it. I'm not going outside
for like a set amount of months.
I did it for 3 months, and I did it for like 2.5 months, and I was like, I'm. And then once exactly what Dave was explaining, I hadn't heard that. I think that's a good comparison. Once I heard it, I was like, actually, it might be back. I'm like, fuck it.
Well, then I can't.
Like,
but I mean,
I hunkered down for what you asked me to hunker down for, and I'm just I know it's wrong. I know I'm being selfish and a pussy and all that stuff. I'm not trying to be like whatever. I know I'm an asshole, but I'm out.
I wonder though, like if numbers were to spike back up and you were to hear that like hospitals were overrun again,
I'd be okay to do it again.
I was gonna say you go back inside.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Right.
It's like the same thing with the sports. It's like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna complain about it. I don't want to do it, but if like, I really have to, I can do it. But it's that wishy washy in between where it's like, are we good? Are we not good? I don't really know what's going on. But I just don't think there's any chance that you can get a whole league of any sort to not cross a threshold. You know what I mean? Like there's definitely gonna be a couple positives here and there. But if there's some sort of number like 10 or some shit like that,
and it's very different, right? The league will be very like only East teams play East teams.
Yep. I actually didn't even. I've been so out and so sticking to my like. There's gonna be no baseball that I don't know what they ended up. I'm pretty sure it's like all East, AL and NL, all Central AL and NL. Because I saw. I mean the idea of the East having DeGrom and Garrett Cole is a fucking, there's some monster pitchers in the East now that are this NL, AL like conglomerate, whatever. But I just don't. I feel like the world convinced themselves that they were like making the decisions now. You know, like the world decided that humans are almost calling the shots. It was like, okay, humans are protesting. That means the virus must be gone.
Right.
No, the virus, like the people protesting are just breaking the rules. The league has decided to come back. We must be good. No, and I can't understand why. If there's one thing we've proven here so far, it's that nobody knows what the fuck they're talking about. Certainly not like sports fans.
There's no spitting allowed.
Yeah, they say so. I can't imagine that one's gonna be.
How does that like? If I was a baseball player, but I'm not.
Isn't that funny though that it's like. I cannot play baseball unless I can spit.
The spitting is weird though, because like I spit a lot, obviously on account of chewing tobacco, and like I notice when I spit now, I'm like, oh, you're such a dick. Why'd you just do that? Yeah. And I mean, not when I'm spitting into a cup or whatever, but when I'm spitting, like, I'm like, geez, I wish I didn't do that.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, it's one of the most disgusting habits ever, pandemic or not.
I don't think so. I think it's regular. I think it's not crazy. They can't be within 6 feet.
You think it's not crazy to like chew on a fucking plant and have to walk around with a cup full of your spit? You think that's normal, huh?
No, that's fair.
All of our habits are very funny. It's like, well, you chew on this, I roll it up into paper, light it on fire, and suck on it. Sure.
Everyone's got to be 6 feet apart all the time. It's just like, it's too fake for me to get excited about.
How can you like cover first base?
With
a man on base.
You can cover. I mean, this is like more national anthem, God Bless America stuff.
Got it.
Maybe,
but even that, isn't that funny? And we did this the whole time
without disrupting basic rules of the game.
I would be so careful. Wash my hands, not see anybody, stay inside. But I'm ordering delivery, and that guy's gonna come with his hands all over shit and put it down, and I'm gonna take it. Or I remember like my mom and my sister. lived together in different floors, and they stayed separate, except our dog would run between the two. I mean, it's just you make up which rules are you have to follow and which ones you don't care about, and that just doesn't work. Now, baseball's one thing.
Pitchers have to carry a wet rag instead of licking their fingers.
To instead of licking their fingers,
Yeah.
they touch the wet rag. I
I mean, you have to wet that 10 times an inning.
absolutely.
It's gonna dry
Just
up.
have like a bucket next to you. Now, baseball is one thing. If there's somehow no football, this country will burn.
The Tuscaloosa mayor came out today and said it'll be $1 billion loss for the city. A 10-figure loss.
Holy shit. Yo, y'all got to diversify Tuscaloosa. Yeah. You guys need some new fucking sources of income, man. Can't be all dependent on Saban and Roll Tide. Jesus Christ. I mean, that is... There's a lot of baseball fans, but I would imagine that demo is much more, if you had to be stereotypical about it, they're probably more, liberal and more blue and all this shit.
In baseball?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Over football?
Over football, I
Yeah.
suppose, but I don't think there is a sports fan base that I would say is a blue fan base.
Basketball.
I guess basketball. Okay,
I think it would
Yeah.
go basketball, baseball, football, and it kind of, it's a varying
Wow, hockey
degree.
doesn't even get in there at all, huh?
Well, I don't know what hockey's Canadian, so I don't even know. They're better. They're better than all of us. Like fuck these Americans, But I feel like if there's no football, I mean, people are silly about football. People are wacky about football.
If there's no football, there'll be a real problem.
Yeah, like worse than like the race riots will be football riots. Because I think about the guys here, like the Hubses and the Tommies and the Jareds. They're like baseball diehards, but they're like rational people and like they don't want people to die and shit. There's people in America who will be like sacrifice their lives.
Yeah.
Like kill grandma and grandpa so I can watch football. No questions asked.
Which is insane, but yes, you're
But it's a
100%
fact.
right.
And like, I don't know how football works because I think football in game is probably tougher with that many people and that much contact, but it's once a week. So like, I don't know if you can do it and then separate, whereas baseball is going to just be like, you constantly
They're
exposed.
playing like every day, aren't
Yeah,
they?
it's what I heard was
Starting
60
in
and 70.
60 and
and
70.
that was I don't know if they missed the deadline. It might be even shorter than that. So I'm totally okay with
I think if you have hope that baseball is the sport that's going to like come out of this saved or looking good, you just haven't been paying attention.
I also don't think we've realized that like they might play, but I think it's gonna everything you just described. It's like it's not gonna be that good.
It'll be weird, and
It'll be
just with the
weird,
different
and-
divisions. I mean, let's just get this on the table right now. Unless
The Red Sox win the World Series.
even
it's
then,
awesome.
that was interesting though. Seeing that with like just people tweeting out the lines and what the futures are.
Or
There are some that was like plus like 75,000 for.
dude, now's the year to put a bet on a long shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
All you got to do is get hot for 2 months and make a run in the playoffs, and like you could be the biggest underdog story ever. I mean, the Mets are gonna win the World Series. The Mets are gonna win the World Series.
and it's gonna be worse.
Absolutely.
If I was you, I would. I guess you can just lean into it, but like
I will. I'll have to, but you'll know that.
you'll
I'm,
know
like,
it's
lying.
not
Yeah.
it's not a real
And
World
I mean,
Series.
it's the
Like,
what,
do you,
what
like-
would be more poetic than that? On the season that I have said, I am not even paying attention because I know it's not going to happen. This is not legit. This is not real. If the Yankees win it, it doesn't count, and then the Mets will sneak in. And the thing is, people are such assholes to Mets fans. It's crazy. It's crazy how poorly Mets fans are treated. Because if anything, people should take pity on us and be like nice to us. And instead, it's like, let's absolutely kick these people while they're down. And if it were to be like, if I don't know, the Mariners were to win a World Series finally, I think people would be like, good for them.
Oh well, fuck
You know?
the Mariners. They had that whole fucking bullshit with fucking King Felix. That was fuck,
He's still upset about that one.
That's perfectly encapsulates like how people treat the Mariners fan base. Where it's just like,
But you know what I'm saying?
like,
Fine. Even-
congratulations.
maybe the Mariners.
Thank God
got
you
it,
had
but
a good pitcher.
Yeah.
Shut up. Like
who's just gonna be on another team
it
next
was
year?
national news that they had a good pitcher for a little while. Who
like,
they did nothing for.
He had like a good run, but really nothing like.
Yeah, look at his numbers, not as good as you thought.
He had like a couple seasons that were spectacular, but
he had a cool nickname. That's what I mean. It's so important, the marketing of it. But like, I remember that night, and I'll forever hate the Mariners franchise.
You were
fan base
furious.
For that. That was like, I was like, oh shit, like he feels. No, he's not retiring.
Right.
He said right after the game, I'm not retiring.
It's like I'm gonna go play for like the Braves. Guys.
Is that who signed him?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying like
someone gave him a
team.
tryout. I don't know if they signed him.
But you know, like other teams, people think of as when the Cubs won the World Series, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, the curse is broken, great. And you know, any other underdogs usually get even the Nats kind of got it, where it was like they, were not expected to. If the Mets win it, it'll just be like, let's tarnish this as much as we can.
Oh yeah,
let's make these people miserable.
Would you celebrate it?
I don't know why. I mean, yeah. Listen, as I say this,
would you
now,
genuinely celebrate it? Like not for college. Like, would you be like, yes, the Mets won the World Series?
What I use as a good example, a good correlation is the wild card game of 16. I was steadfast, firmly like the playing game is not the playoffs. It's just like a chance to get to the playoffs. And then when they made it, and there was all like the hubbub leading up to it, I bought into it. I was like, oh, it's the playoffs, And I felt, and it wasn't like I was convincing myself in that game, that Connor Gillespie game, that was a playoff game,
Yeah.
So I say it now, but if the Mets go fucking, like 45-15 and make the playoffs, and then there's a couple weeks of playoffs, by the time they get to the World Series, I'll be fully fucking in.
Right. That's true.
In hindsight, down the road, I might be like, yeah, it was fugazi, but like in the moment, I will for sure be into it. And in the moment, I will for sure take the bait of everyone telling me it's not a big deal, and I will have like an aneurysm. Like the Mets winning the World Series will be like the worst thing for me because I will like explode. That might be the final straw. If everyone's an asshole to me when the Mets win the World Series, like the worst
it's
thing
what's
in the
gonna
world.
happen.
The worst thing, not even I would relish the like Yankee fans telling me it doesn't count. I'd be like laughing in their face. If the world was just like, that doesn't really count. Let's watch football. Like, yeah, excuse me, like get out of here. We're talking football. I'd be like, no, I've been waiting for this my whole life, and you guys don't care. So that's what's gonna happen.
Yes,
that's like definitely what's gonna happen. So and Dave will be like a part owner. I don't get the reaction people. I mean, universally across the board, we're like, this is KFC's nightmare. And I mean, I get why, but if Dave owning something that I love succeeds, I mean, that's Barstool.
Right.
When we sold to Penn, people weren't like, oh, what a nightmare for KFC. Dave's worth so much money now because hopefully soon one day we'll get my own money. It was like, congratulations to you too.
Right.
So if Dave owning things succeeding is where you draw the line, well, you should have drawn it 10 years ago. So I don't get it. It's not perfect. It's not ideal. On the rundown, I said, Dave, you're not going to like sabotage your own investment to fuck with me. And he was like, I'm not above that. It's like, fuck.
Well, because owners have proven throughout time. Now, I don't think Dave would do this. I know Dave wouldn't do it. Dave likes to win. But like owners have proven throughout time that you can just not give a fuck.
Definitely.
And I used to think I was so stupid, and this is until very recently. Like I thought if like no one went to your games, you didn't make any money.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it does matter a lot, but I know what you mean.
It matters, but I mean, you still make $100 million that year.
Yeah.
Right? You still make crazy amount of money because of the TV's deal split. Mm-hmm. I believe, do owners keep the door? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And then jerseys are split.
I think like memorabilia, and I think what the Players Union is trying to angle for is like, MLB app signups and all that kind of shit. Like all the ancillary money that comes in that's not like from the game.
Right.
I think players are trying to get a piece of.
I didn't realize that players got a piece of the jersey, at least in the NFL. NFL get 20% of the jersey.
I mean, I used to always think like, who gives number one jersey sales? Who cares? Oh, well,
yeah.
Tim Tebow's like, hey baby,
yeah, right.
I don't even play and I'm making bank. So I don't know. I would say don't hold your breath. I'm a big fan of under.
I'm not gonna call you an idiot if you're excited. I just think
I will.
I think I understand the excitement. Like I get people are looking for hope in any form in 2020. Yeah. It has been a bad year, and you're like want something to hold on to.
I'm not going to be a Debbie Downer, but I will be like, you are a little bit of an idiot. It's the same thing as everybody when they got excited for every tweet. John Heyman said baseball's coming back. Woo! Throw a fucking party. 2 minutes later, no, I'm an asshole. It's like, well, how about you don't do this again next time? And they did it every single time. And now they're doing it on a grand scale. A part of me does want to watch the world burn. Like, I do want to see what happens to a guy like Carabas and Hubs when they are told baseball's coming back and it's like on the schedule. And then like the night before, they're like, oh, everybody tested positive. It's gone again. I think we'll see those guys. I think we'll see grown men cry. I think they will weep like children. I think the football crowd will like throw a riot. I think the baseball crowd will just cry like babies.
I would think so. Yeah,
like Hubs will just weep
because baseball's been if football would die, football not happening would be like your friend dying in a car accident, and baseball not happening is like your grandfather dying of cancer.
Yeah,
where it's been coming a long time.
Death.
You've had a million scares where you went to the hospital and you ended up making it and coming home. And this is just like, I had a feeling this one was coming. Football, people have not even entertained the idea that it won't happen.
They have not even considered it yet.
Right.
And I don't know why. You probably should have. Should we just jump right into Am I the Asshole?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh, wait, first Loch Ness Monster's back. I have my issue here. Here's my thing with this. It's nothing to do with Loch Ness Monster. It's got to do with Twitter. When a topic is trending,
gotta have the pin tweet. I know what you're
you
saying.
gotta have a tweet at the top to tell me why it's trending.
Yep,
I'm like
I agree.
3/4 of the way down the scroll. I'm just seeing Scooby Doo and stuff. I'm like, why the fuck is Loch Ness Monster trending? Why I get the fucking Mulder and Scully here?
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna take it a step further. And this kind of ties into a lot
this tweet right here, right at the top. Since Loch Ness Monster's trending, figured it'd be a great time to share a pic of me looking for her. It's just a random guy standing by a lake.
Yep.
I should see right away why a topic is trending. The whole trending topic thing is goddamn fucking bullshit. Everyone trends for stupid reasons.
Can I tell you the number one stupid trend? Blah, blah, blah is over party.
Oh, cancel parties.
Half the time it's fake. And the other half of the time, I can't find out why it's canceled. And it's all just funny jokes and people saying why they're canceled. And I can't find out why they're canceled. And then when I see, John Krasinski's over party, I'm like, holy shit. Did Jim Halpert do something? And then it's like, oh no, that one was just a total joke. This is where the people cry cancel. The boy who cried cancel. It's a problem because half the time it's not real. And or half the time, the other half of the time, it's like, what exactly did he do? What did he say? What's going on? Now, the Loch Ness Monster, there's a picture. And it's a fucking monster. It's a fucking monster. Now, depends on what your definition of monster is.
That's the thing. There's so many monsters in the ocean.
Is it a yeah. I mean,
well, it's not the ocean, it's a lake.
But let's like bodies of water in general. When you go to the bottom of the ocean, you are in a different planet.
Yep.
There are aliens. Those fish that have no eyes and they have like the lights.
Haven't we like discovered more of the solar system than we have of the ocean?
Something like that.
Explored more of it or whatever.
Yeah, I know that and I know that the bottom of the ocean is lower, I think way lower than like the peak of Mount Everest. Like we go way deeper than we go high here on this planet. Yeah. And so there's shit down there that
why doesn't the water just spill?
Like off the earth? Here we go.
Like why does it just spill off the planet?
Great walls.
Like part of the ocean is upside down. Why isn't it just spilling?
Gravity.
Yeah, I know, but that's bullshit.
Listen, I can't tell you anything further than that. It's like, why do planes fly? Lift. Why do boats float? Buoyancy. I can't tell you anything further than that.
Gravity sucks a whole ocean's worth of water.
Yeah, apparently.
So, you get a ping pong ball.
It's the spin.
And you suck it like that, and it won't fall because you're sucking it so hard.
I've done it the other way. I've never sucked it. I've blown it.
I
don't suck it. I blow it.
You can do that, and it's doing that with a whole ocean. I can barely do it with a bottle cap. And the gravity,
your lungs are not nearly as powerful as the core of the Earth. Boy, that's gonna be hard.
So that's doing that with the ocean at all times.
All times.
It should just fall out. The ocean should just fall out.
Yeah, I mean, these are things I don't quite understand. And we kind of talked about this on Friday Night Pints with PFT, like north, south, east, west. That's all just kind of why is up north and down south? We're just technically a ball floating in space.
Right.
So,
rotating and all.
Why, it feels like it should fall, but also why doesn't the water just go up from, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
all of it.
Like Tang.
Makes sense.
Like Tang just floats into
what?
Like Tang.
Tang?
Yeah, wasn't that was developed for the juice developed for astronauts?
Oh,
in the commercials,
like
it
little jello
balls.
kind of eat. Yeah. Right. Why is the water not just floating away like that?
All right, I was gonna use
You got something stupid to say, don't you, Nick? You got something smug to say?
I just know what gravity is.
Yeah, right.
I know what gravity is. I just don't understand it.
Right.
I know it's gravity, but that's
Well,
the
here's
one.
the thing.
You're not explaining it to me. You're just giving me a one-word
Well, no,
answer. It's
it's
gravity. I know.
It doesn't pull you down. It pulls you towards the most massive object near you, and the massive object is the Earth.
That's
so
why
it's
Fights
constantly
pulls me in
pulling
that fat ass.
everything.
But the Earth.
That's why at night you're lighter because the moon passes
Wait,
by. Yeah.
what?
Oh yeah.
At night you're lighter?
Because there's a second massive object pulling you the other way, the moon, and it makes
The
you
moon's
lighter.
always there.
That's why people tell you
The moon's always there.
That's why people tell you to weigh yourself at night.
Wait a minute. The moon is always there.
Well, it's on the other side of the Earth.
Yeah.
Though. It's not by you.
But it's still got to be having a pull, no?
It does still have a pull on you when
I
it's
guess
on
it's
the
pulling
other
you
side,
down.
but it's pulling you through like the Earth.
So the moon is pulling me a little bit towards the moon at night, and that's why I'm lighter? Is that what you're telling me?
The moon's always pulling you, but at night it's above you, so it's pulling you away from the Earth
Right.
slightly, and you're lighter at night.
How much lighter?
It's like could be.
Have you
half a
Googled this?
pound.
Are we sure?
All right. I didn't finish college, but my first major was physics. So
Wow. That was stupid.
yeah,
That's almost as bad as what's his face is majoring in ancient Greek.
Oh,
What are you
you
gonna do
suit
with
man.
that? Yeah. Physics. Okay, Dr. Nick. When you think about it, gravity is magic.
Yes.
Like if you were to tell me that, there's some literally unseen, undescribable, not tangible force that holds you to something, I mean, that's magic. You can't tell me that magic doesn't exist. We just call it gravity.
Yeah, I mean that's what science is too.
Science is
where it's
magic.
It's magic.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of this shit. When you take a bucket of water, you spin it around, kind of like why the ocean doesn't fall off. I mean, that's magic. It's like there's gravity, except not now.
Yeah.
When you move it in a special way, the gravity goes away. I don't fucking
That's
get it.
centrifugal force though.
Yeah, that's magic.
That's magic.
Inertia, magic. All these things, magic. All these forces.
It's not it's not flirting. It's just inertia.
Do you believe in the Loch Ness monster?
I believe. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, what? Otherwise, like maybe it's not the Nessie, from 1934, but whatever that is a fucking monster.
There's a big fucking thing in the lake. I believe in it.
And if you see the larger picture, the wake is like pretty fucking long.
Like a boat.
Yeah, it's like you see like the hump. It looks like a fucking. See that though?
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that thing is long.
Okay, I'm sold. I'm easily
Loch Ness
sold.
monster's real.
Yeah, Loch Ness monster is definitely real. Fine, done.
Aliens in Miami. Thoughts?
I saw one video. It looked pretty fake to me. It looked like a fake video. I just think that it looked. Let me Google it real quick.
You know what really hurts the aliens fun? Drones. Like a lot of this
Right.
shit can be explained by drones now. I feel like 20 years ago it was kind of like, well, there's no aircraft that moves that way, and now it's like there just are.
Yeah, there. And this is too fake. It's too fake. I'm sorry. I just don't believe it.
You mean it's too real, actually, right? Like you're saying it's like too.
It's
kind of
too
extreme.
exactly what you thought. It's like a movie. It's like what you thought.
Yeah.
It's like someone who watched a couple of movies. It's
Some
like,
Michael
I
Bay.
bet this is what aliens look like.
Yeah.
And it's just Hollywood's not that smart. Hollywood didn't hit the nail on that. They don't fly in a fucking flying
See,
V.
what I can't
They
tell is
don't
how
just
big
disappear.
are those, though? Is that small and close? Or, I mean, if those are like massive, then something's afoot. Because what are you saying you think it is? Like a dude with like 5 or 6 drones flying
Yeah.
around? But what if, I can't tell from that angle, but if those things are like massively big, then it can't be that,
They could be. They got big drones. You can also just put like things around a drone. They don't look that big. They're not. Those aren't real. Don't care. It's just too. It's just like
You know what it
it's
definitely
literally
is? The reason why I'm definitely leaning towards hoax on this one, because this is like, what's next for 2020?
Yeah,
Like a lot of people are
right.
saying, like I saw a lot of the same repeated joke being stolen on Twitter, like the alien invasion's not till July. You guys are early, like that sort of shit. So I think Loch Ness monster real, aliens in this case not real.
Yeah.
And by the by, just want to recap: Kevin Bacon not believing in aliens, that hurt me. That hurt me. I didn't like that. I also love his reasoning. I said, "Why don't you believe in aliens, Kev?" He was like, "I haven't found them yet." Like, well, okay. If that's the burden of proof, I understand. But yes, you, Kevin Bacon, Hollywood actor, not astronomer or a space explorer, you have not found aliens, so they can't possibly be real. I kind of like that. Anything that I have never personally experienced, not real.
I mean, it's Carl Everett.
Yeah, right. I never seen him.
Never saw dinosaurs. So fuck, how could they be real?
God, is Carl Everett still alive?
I think so.
We should get him on the show. Just talk about dinosaur bones.
All right, so there it was the first segment in, I can't remember another time we've done that where we've just said, you know what, this whole segment sucked, let's scrap it. But we've probably done it here and there, but it's got to be the first time in like 5 years that we've done it. So let me know, was it as bad as we thought? Was it worse than we thought? Did you actually enjoy it? Did you think we made any points? Sometimes it's good to know, like maybe if you guys liked it, maybe it's important to remember that you can be your own worst critic and your own worst enemy. And if you guys absolutely hated it and were laughing at how bad of podcasting it was, then it's good to know that we can follow our gut. So either way, some feedback on the Snyder Cut of KFC Radio would be appreciated. And now let's get into Scott Eastwood. Handsome motherfucker. I mean, just as handsome as it gets, almost obnoxiously so. So we talked to him about that. We talked about being the son of Clint, a legend, his new movie, superheroes, the whole nine. So it's just a really, really good-looking guy, along with Feidelberg and Scott Eastwood here on this interview. Enjoy.
What's up, man?
What's going on, Scott Eastwood?
Look at that hairline. My goodness, that's a strong hairline.
You know what I'm going to tell you, Scott? You're a son of a bitch. You're just too handsome.
No, I am one handsome bastard.
I was watching the Outpost last night, actually, and the girl I was watching with, she
Oh, what's up, Bragg?
yeah, me, female, watched a movie with one once, and I say, I'm like, man, look at this guy. He is a real handsome son of a bitch. And she goes, my ex-boyfriend looked exactly like him. And I was like, I kind of chuckle, and she goes, yeah, like so much so that all my friends just called him Scott. And I was like, all right, enough for the story. Let's put on another movie. I don't even want to watch this movie anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's pulling the shanks out, prison shanks.
Seriously, man. Like anything else? Anything else? You want to tell me how big his dick was too? I mean, what else do we got here?
Dude, how is shooting a movie like that? Where, I mean, you've been in Hollywood for a while, but you haven't done anything like this, right? Where you're portraying a hero, a legitimate hero, a Medal of Honor recipient?
No, I haven't. I've been in a few war movies, and I have portrayed, real people, but not in this capacity. No, I think, portraying someone who's still alive was a challenge, and something that I wanted to do and tackle. When you do something like this, the stakes are much higher, right? You're not only are you portraying someone who's still alive, but you're portraying a story that the people paid the ultimate sacrifice for, right? And that the pressure is high.
I mean, that's like at the end of the day, when you like shoot a scene or whatever, I would feel like the urge of like, we got to do it again. Like, I got to get it right. It's not just like, well, that was good enough, where you maybe in other roles you're okay with it.
There's no such thing as good enough.
Right.
It's got to be right or not at all. And luckily, in this case, we had a ton of people that we had people that were there that actually were at the battle or participated in the battle that were there, and we had a ton of military advisors and people that were extremely helpful to make sure that we really got it right, and we could lean on them to say, hey, was this right?
I always think about, there was one line, I forget his name, like an asshole. But in the movie Honey Boy, and the actor, who's the redhead from Manchester by the Sea? The young kid. I forget. Anyway, he was talking about how, because he was doing a movie about a real person, and it was Shia LaBeouf's dad is who he was portraying or whatever it was. And he's like, I had to kind of keep, and not in so many words, but like asking Shia for permission to like go deep into this character. Right. Where like I didn't want to be disrespectful with like, how I was taking a different turn with it or something like that, because it's just someone real. Is that someone you dealt with much?
No, I didn't. I've never asked permission per se. I think I felt just probably my own pressure to make sure that, I did it right, and I was going to, honor this man and make sure I nailed it.
I mean, you nailed it, dude. I mean, it's a great movie. It's it's
You got a great mustache in it. Not
Yeah.
quite as good as mine, but you got to
look at this guy. He's got
Fire.
the twirl, the
Mine was a child's mustache compared to yours. Look at that. Nose and it's going down.
Was there? There's like it's just quarantine's the best time to do it. Quarantine's the best time to be an asshole. Where it's like, all right, I'm gonna try having.
Did we have a really filthy stash?
Yeah. Did you do anything during quarantine? Because you're out now. You're out at a restaurant. It seems like.
Oh yeah. I'm doing.
which. By the way,
We're in Texas.
pandemic.
Yeah, you guys never even like. You guys are like, fuck that. We're seceding if you think I'm doing quarantine.
Panhandle what?
I like the move of just being at I'll do my interviews at a restaurant. That's a great move. Like have a couple beers, hang out, eat some food, talk to these guys. It's like
Are you having beers?
It's 11 a.m.
No, I know what time it is. I
we
asked the
didn't,
question.
we
though.
didn't ask you what time it is, Scott.
It's time for beer. You know what? I'll order one.
There you go. What's your beer of choice? Or drink of choice in general. If when you sit
I'm
down,
a Coors Light guy.
Coors Light, Silver Bullet.
I'm a banquet course guy myself. Or banquet.
The Golden Bullet. The Golden Bullet is it's a rarity. The Coors Original is it's a special one.
That's right. It's a champagne.
When now, obviously the Outpost is based on a book by Jake Tapper. Was he ever on set?
He was. He came down for a week.
Okay.
While we were shooting in Bulgaria.
Now, can you rank your CNN anchors?
By the way, you're in Texas, so don't say it too loud.
Are you like a tap man? Are you like a blitz boy? Are you a Cuomo queen? I don't know.
Is that Como Queen?
I feel like Cuomo's gotten himself quite a little following. through all this.
He has thrived in quarantine.
Oh yeah, that's true. First off, I fucking hate the news. All of them equally.
Yep.
But I'd say, look, I mean, Tapper's he's a real nice gentleman, and I can't speak for anyone else because I've never met them. But Tapper he's a gentleman, and he came down to Texas after we were done shooting, had barbecue with me. So the guy is a stand-up gent, and he wrote a hell of a book.
It was an unbelievable book. I didn't read it. I just wanted to sound smart for a second.
I haven't read it.
Great movie though. Great movie. Like we were actually just talking this morning where someone was like, "Hey, we were talking about The Martian." I was on a radio show this morning, and someone was like, "Now, have you read The Martian?" Right? I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I don't know why I lied. I watched the movie though. Like, I didn't read the fucking book."
Same thing.
But speaking of movies, you, my hero, have had the pleasure of being in my favorite franchise of all time. And you were in The Fate of the Furious.
That's true.
Awesome.
Really checks out.
How awesome was it getting to be? Like, I talk about Fast and Furious, I don't know, a few hours per day.
Every single day, Scott.
Were you a fan of the movies before you got into it?
I was. I was a fan. I was. Not only was I a fan, I think, just from the onset of the films, but Paul Walker was my good friend.
I was gonna say you're buddies with Paul.
Mm-hmm.
So I think after he passed away, it kind of felt like an honor to be a part of something that he was a part of for so long, and that was part of his life and his family, and so I felt really good doing it, and Vin Diesel and Luda and all the guys and ladies that were part of it, they really embraced me and were so sweet and made it a really enjoyable experience, which makes it a real positive thing.
We're gonna keep having you rank things. What would you have the best movie franchises ever?
Say that one more time.
The best franchises.
The best franchise of all time? Ooh.
Top three. You can give top three.
Indiana Jones.
Ooh. Oh, all right. That's a pretty good one.
Star Wars.
Wrong. You're wrong.
The original.
Just the first three. That franchise is batting like what? They're below the Mendoza line.
Yeah.
We're sticking with Harrison Ford. Okay. I mean, he was I think he pulled those two franchises together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah, he's like the missing link there. Yeah, yep.
And then I gotta go a third, huh? I'm a Wolverine guy. I'm a Wolverine guy.
A good Scott Eastwood. These are some pretty good answers that I wouldn't have thought of.
I feel like you should get in on that, like that X-Men train. I feel like you'd be good as a mutant or a superhero.
Have you ever thought about that, Scott? Doing really famous movies?
Why don't you call up Marvel and say, "Hey, let's make a movie for me"?
Kevin's like, I got a
Come on,
great idea.
guys,
Superhero
this
stuff.
train's leaving. The Scott Eastwood train leaving. Do you guys want in or out?
Yeah, but I will shoot you straight, and I feel like this is maybe the biggest compliment I can pay to a man is that, like, I think it's crazy that you haven't been yet. I feel like what's Marvel doing? Like, you should be a superhero, man.
I'm waiting patiently for that phone call. Okay, guys, I'm just waiting patiently.
If you could be any one, which would it be? That hasn't been made. Or you could kick someone out too. Actually, that would probably be better. Kick someone out.
I like that move. That's a good move. That's strong.
Imagine if Iron Man came back
I would
and it
do
was
better Iron Man than Robert Downey.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm gonna go with Logan.
Yeah. Well,
go with Logan, man. You gotta go with Weapon X.
I get it, but at the same time, being a fan of it, would there be any concern? Like, I don't know if I can do it justice. Like if you said you're worried about making sure you get everything right in the Outpost, now you got to portray Wolverine when the bar is so high, man.
Yeah, Wolverine's got balls, and if you don't have balls, you shouldn't be stepping into that. So you gotta say fuck it.
But also,
Balls deep.
not even.
I can see the headlines now. Scott Eastwood goes balls deep on Wolverine.
But you have to worry about not just like doing a role. Like, comic book fans are you a comic book fan? Like, they're crazy people.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Comic book fans, look, they'll turn against you.
Yeah.
They'll cannibalize.
Right.
They'll take you down.
Not only will they take you down, they won't even give you a chance. Like, they hated Heath Ledger. They're like, Heath Ledger's gonna stink at this.
True.
One of the greatest performances I've ever seen in my life. I haven't seen a ton of movies, but it was a pretty good one. And they were like, already.
Nor have you read a ton of books.
Scott, I don't do a lot, bud. You out there, you go like hunting stuff. You do a kind of cool shit. I just scroll Twitter. That's all I do.
It's okay.
It's not. My therapist completely disagrees.
Flicking the deal and social media meltdown in your mind.
You're not on it, huh?
No, I am, but I deleted it off my phone. So
you are?
Yeah, I don't even look at it. I don't even.
Wait, are you a secret guy?
Am I what?
Like, is it a secret? Like, are you not like verified? I was trying to look for your social media. I couldn't find it. I saw your Instagram. I couldn't find your Twitter.
I mean, I'm on it. I have it present. I drop it to my buddy. I send him a cool pic or something I think's funny or silly or meaningful or whatever. And then I let it be. That's it. I just say, hey, this is cool. Maybe put a caption like this. And but I don't. I feel like it was kind of. I didn't like having it on my phone. It was sort of rotting my brain.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. My brain is completely rotten. I would never defend it. I just choose to let the brain rot.
Yeah. It's like alcohol. I think, what was it? Like, Facebook is like what was that town where DuPont was poisoning the water well?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's like what Facebook is, was they're kind of like tricking you into thinking it's real. This one is just like, I'm just drinking alcohol. I know I'm poisoning myself.
You just know you're drinking a barrel of acid.
I'm 100% aware of what's happening, but it's something to do better than reading a book. Right?
The movie's coming out also in a few drive-in theaters. I keep saying drive-through when I'm speaking.
It comes
about
out. It does come out in theaters. There will. I mean, from what I know, there'll be theaters. There'll be some theaters open. There are theaters opening up, and you got the choice. You want to go. You want to go to a theater? Go see it in the theater. You want to go see it at home? Check it out at home. It comes out. I think July 2nd actually is the first day it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you a movie theater guy or a home guy?
I'm a theater guy.
Are you?
I like the experience. I want to see it. I want to feel it. I want it visceral. I want it around me. I like going to the theater. It's nostalgic for me. It's what I grew up doing. I like it. It's a fun outing.
I think everyone, probably our age, has a romantic idea about the theater because where we all had our first kiss. Like, who didn't have a first kiss in the theater?
I'll tell you what.
My first makeout was in a theater.
Kiss?
My first makeout. My first kiss was in a slide. My first makeout was in a theater. To anywhere but here. Natalie Portman cried the whole time. She was devastated that I was making out the whole movie.
Unbelievable. I feel like that's where the drive-in is the place. If you're trying to make out and you're trying to enjoy some extracurricular activity on the side, the drive-in is
good call.
The
And
way
what
to go.
better film to do it than to the Outpost?
Nothing screams sexy
You got
time
away
like
with words.
Afghanistan. So in general, with your movie career and your acting career, what's it like when, Pops is a legend of the game as well? And, it's obviously the family business is one of movies. Is that pressure packed? Does it make it more enjoyable, easier, harder? I feel like it's a unique dynamic for you. A lot of people the family's in the biz, but a name like his, which is so legendary, it's got to be a unique experience for you.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, look, I'm certainly here and been inspired by my father, and that is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And he continues to inspire me every day. He's honestly my hero. As far as the pressure you speak about, look, I don't really dwell on that or spend time thinking about things that are out of my control. You got to just keep moving, I think that would be a waste of time. So for me, I just keep my head down, keep grinding, get back to work, make another movie, and just keep going.
Amen, brother. That sounds like a good plan to me.
What's next? What's the next movie?
It's a Guy Ritchie film. So we shot that in December and January. We finished that right before this whole nonsense. And it's going to be awesome. Jason Statham, Holt McCallan, Guy Ritchie. Oh, it is dope.
That's a bomb squad. That's
I
that right there.
I feel like Statham and Ritchie just do movies. Like, when was the last time Ritchie did a movie without Statham? Probably the Kingsman. Not the Kingsman. What's fucking Gentleman? The Gentleman. Right? Wait, Statham wasn't in that, I don't think.
Statham, Ritchie, Eastwood is. That's a trio right there. Yeah, man. That can't be fuck. You can't fuck with those guys.
Yeah, no, I feel super, incredibly lucky to be, in a movie with those guys, just to be around that kind of greatness. So,
You know what's been on my mind this entire interview, and I'm gonna address it now. I wish I was cool enough to do the scarf mask thing. I have the medical mask, and it's a mess. That's where I think of myself as a station in life. Like, I can only pull off the medical mask. The scarf,
get a nice. It's a bandana.
I know it looks cool as hell. Oh, it looks so awesome.
Yeah, you look sharp. You look sharp. Yeah.
Fashionable,
God damn it. I wish.
It's like a light blue. It's like a double scarf thing you got going there. You got a whole look to you, man.
It's a good thing. Well, I'm at a restaurant. I actually don't even really need it right now, but it's just nice. It stays on, and I never have to remember where it is.
So let me just ask you. Right now, are you on a laptop or a tablet? What are you on right now?
Laptop.
So you got the laptop out. You're at the bar. It's Scott fucking Eastwood.
Yeah. Why?
And you're just doing your press from the bar. It's such a flex, and it seems to be that people are, being polite. And I can't imagine just eating lunch and being like, "I'm having my burger," and Scott Eastwood's doing his press right there.
I have to order a burger. That looks really good. That's some good stuff. As soon as I get finished with these guys, I would love it. Thank you.
Yeah. How do you cook your burger?
Yeah. How do I cook a burger?
Yeah.
I'll tell you a little secret. You put an ice cube in
with
it.
elk meat.
With elk, you're an elk guy.
Wait a second.
I've seen elk forever with I'm a Joe Rogan fan, and he's always hunting elk and eating elk, and it always looks delicious. I I don't even know where I would go get elk. How can you get elk
You
around
get it
here?
yourself, don't you? You kill it yourself.
Yeah, like,
Do you really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
Shot
like,
my-
does that
shot-
surprise
shot
you?
my- Shot one last year at the Deseret Ranch, bow hunting, of course. With
Oh,
with
yeah.
Cameron
Of
Hames and
course.
Joe
Yeah,
Rogan.
I mean-
was there with us.
Bow hunting, like, you know, what
pretty
kind of
special.
idiot wouldn't do bow hunting, you know? Wow. You are
Well, I'm
all that
telling
is
you.
man.
You got to do it. You got to. The first step is you just got to start practicing and go, because it takes a long time to figure it out and just start, and get good enough to do it. But it's one of the most rewarding things you'll do to procure your own food, right? Like, it's a skill set you have to learn, and you have to go and you have to try and you have to fail, and then everything comes together and you get it, and when you do it and you procure your own food and you freeze hundreds of pounds of meat and you have it through the winter, which I did, and even now, it feels amazing when I unwrap elk steak and cook it myself. I know I went and got it, and I know where it came from, and it feels good, and it's healthy.
All right, so we'll let you go on this. July 3rd, July 2nd, you said. I think we have it down as July 3rd, but you said July 2nd. The Outpost is out.
I think there's I think the first night might have like a preview thing, July 2nd. I'm not even sure what it is, but I know there's a whole thing coordinating.
All right, go see it in theaters. Go see it at the drive-in. Watch it video on demand. But we're going to leave you with this, and I think I know the answer to it already, because it's a question we have on a game we have called Answer the Internet. And it's, if you had to either hunt for your own food or build your own shelter, which would you do? I think you're going to be a hunt for the food guy.
Yeah.
Could you build your own shelter?
You can sleep in the rain.
God damn. You say cool things and you look cool, and it makes me feel bad about myself.
I just picture Scott Eastwood.
Got a
with-
mustache like you do, my friend. So.
I got a vision of Scott Eastwood with his cool mask on, sleeping with a elk that he just killed with a bow, and it's fucking raining on him, and he's just looking all hot. You're just
singing.
Like a sexy Eskimo next to me. Or
Yeah, Scott.
Yes.
And he goes out and you're singing Hillary Duff. Let the rain fall down, Palma, whatever the words are.
no, continue.
That's what people always say when I sing. But thank you so much, Scott, man. Great luck with the Outpost and with the guy Richie and Statham. Tell Statham I said what up.
enjoy that
Done.
burger, man. Have a good one.
See.